Thinking about stepping up your video game and getting a dedicated camera for all your video content? The Sony ZV-E10 might just be the answer, but it has a few setbacks. That and more in this review of the Sony ZV-E10. Hey, welcome, Chris here from Videomaker. If you'd like to skip around to any part of this review, there'll be time code in the description for you. Now, before you buy any camera, make sure you budget for all the other things you need as well. That's why we've made a shopping list of the 9 essential things that every filmmaker needs, and you can get it by clicking on this card here or through the link in the description. Now, let's get started. With the ZV-E10, Sony has released an interchangeable lens camera for content creators, for video shooters. This is a video-first camera. However, it's very similar to the A6100. The A6100 and the ZV-E10 share the same sensor and a lot of the same features. However, they differ in that the ZV-E10 doesn't have an electronic viewfinder or an EVF. However, it has a fully articulating screen. It can capture S-Log2, S-Log3, or HLG. It has the same 3-mic capsule from the ZV-1, which allows you to be in front or behind the camera and it pick you up just as well. And it has 2 new features, that is product showcase and soft skin mode, that we're going to talk about in just a second. Pros and cons, it's pros and cons time. Pros and cons time. I'm gonna look at my sheet here so I don't miss anything. So let's start off with our first thing that we like. It's the product showcase and skin filter. Now, what this is the skin filter is very similar to the blemish removal that you're gonna use on Instagram, on Snapchat. Very cool, first in a camera. Definitely helpful for those that are gonna be doing this in post-production, so you can just do it as you shoot. Second is product showcase. And what this is that it will allow you, if you are holding something in front of your face, for it to focus on it. We definitely were able to fool it, and it didn't work all the time, but it's definitely a nice feature to have if you are always showcasing or talking and showing something. The next thing up is that it has a headphone and mic jack. This is really great at this price point. It's absolutely necessary to be able to monitor your audio as you record it. That way you aren't going to be fooled by just having your meters move and it's the wind blowing. We really like its fully articulating screen. This is great, definitely necessary for doing vlogs. And lastly, it's not new for Sony cameras, but it's important for video in general, is that it has no record limit time. Now it's the things we didn't like about it. What are the cons of this camera? Well, we didn't like its image stabilization. It's not that great. And really you're dealing with the optical image stabilization you have in your lens, or SteadyShot, which if you have it just on normal mode, it doesn't crop any, but we didn't see a huge improvement with having it on. However, when you have active SteadyShot on, it works better, but there's a significant crop. This is a bigger crop than you're getting even from the smaller sensor. Very necessary if you're going to be doing vlogs or anything like that, that this crop could really cause an issue. The next thing that we don't really like is that there's still no touch function in the menu, even though it's a touch screen. This is frustrating, especially if you're shooting vlog, if you're looking at the camera and you're not accessing the back of the camera. This is gonna, make you flip the camera around and change your shot if you just needed to change a menu function or something like that. Lastly, its wind noise reduction is not great. Sounds like I'm in a tin can when you're using it. Definitely doesn't sound as good as when it's off. Let's listen to some examples. Okay, so this is with the wind resistance off. There's obviously no wind here in the building, but just to hear the difference between it being on and off. So this is off, and we'll have on here in a second. So this is with wind reduction on. I don't know if the timbre of my voice sounds any different. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I'm about 1.5 feet or so away from my face. The image quality from this camera is as good as you can expect for its price. It's pretty much the same as the A6100, except for, of course, it's camera designed for video, so there's those other creature comforts that we might require. Its bitrate is up to 100 megabits per second. That's great. It could be better, but this price point, it's probably not going to get anything more than that. It's 8-bit, also expected at this price point. It is 420 internally and 422 externally. We expect this camera to be an upgrade for someone shooting on a phone for all their content creation. The camera has a great tether, so you're able to send files if you need to. In fact, you can even send files when the camera's off. It can also be a USB webcam, and you just connect it via its USB-C port, which also you can charge off of, so you can have a longer battery life if you so need to, say you're doing a longer record time. So what's the performance you can expect from this camera? We're going to talk about dynamic range, low light, and battery life. Starting off, dynamic range. Testing with our DSC Labs Xyla 21 chart, we saw 12 stops of dynamic range, maybe 13, but there's not a lot of information in that 13 stops. That's nothing to scoff at. 12 stops is pretty great for a camera at this price point. Now we got that dynamic range shooting at S-Log3, S-Gamut3 Cine. Although that'll get you the most dynamic range, your skin tones will probably suffer because it's an 8-bit camera. For low light, we would say stick between ISO 800 and 12,800. That's a huge range there. Noise starts at 800, but it's greatly usable all the way up past, 6,400 and all the way up to 12,800. We'd use it at 12,800 without much issue, but we wouldn't go beyond that if you want professional results. And for its battery life, you can expect an hour and 20 maybe per battery life. However, we did see overheating. Now you can turn off auto power off temperature. It was on standard and you could put it on high. However, although we don't know really for certain how long-term damage that creates doing that like always, but we can expect it's good for the camera to always do that. So we'd recommend you turn it on when you need to have those long shoot times, but have it off otherwise because you might not always need it. So should you buy this camera or not? Well, make sure you budget for it. This is an interchangeable lens camera. You need to make sure you have budget for lenses, for batteries, for media. And of course, there's all the other things you might forget. So we have a list of 9 essential tools that every filmmaker needs. You can check it out. That's the card up there. We have a shopping list for you so you can go and make sure you get the right things before you blow all your money just on the camera body. Getting down to the actual camera though, if you're making your content on a phone, this is a huge upgrade. You're gonna be able to be deliberate with your depth of field, with your field of view. The image quality is gonna be better with a larger sensor like this. It gives you all of those controls that you need really to be deliberate about the way your shot looks. And if you wanna upgrade the video quality in your content, this is a really surefire way to do it. So if you have a camcorder or maybe an RX100 or RX10, one of the Mark, whatever number they're on by now, you might be an upgrade to get just an interchangeable camera. This camera is definitely for content creators, so it's got all those workflow benefits there. But if you're not coming from a smartphone or a fixed lens camera in general, it might not be an upgrade for you. So make sure that the features it offers are beneficial to what you're trying to do. I've been Chris from Videomaker, and like always, make sure you subscribe, like, comment on this video. We want to know what you think. Until next time, keep doing the hard work that you do. Bye-bye. All right, so here's the end page. You now have 2 choices. You can either have the video that YouTube has chosen for you or the video that we have chosen for you. Hopefully either one of them is good, but you never know. They could change your life or not. Thanks for watching. Bye.